Hello, masters. Welcome to our Swadhyaya challenge. So today we have Ajay to talk about the part 2 of Bringers of the Dawn. So Ajay has been done a wonderful job in part 1 in giving an overall idea of like what and how of the overall of the book. Thank you, Ajay. Before going to the session, deepest pranams to Brahmashi Pitamaha Patri sir and all PSSM masters and whoever is listening this wisdom in future through YouTube. Okay, Ajay. You can go ahead and start guiding. I'll play the music. We will do meditation for 5 minutes. Okay.
Okay. Hello everyone, let's start meditation. Close your eyes, clasp your hands, and place them on your lap. Remove your glasses if you have them. Your breath. Your breath, masters. Your breath, masters. Last 1 minute. Last 10 seconds, masters. 5, 2, 1. Place your hands on your closed eyes for 5 seconds. When you're ready, open your eyes with a smile.
Thank you. Thank you, Ajay. It was a wonderful, short and sweet meditation. So I'll let you go and, start the session. Thank you. Thank you for being here.
So today I'm just going to start off from where I stopped last time. So the next chapter is called Multidimensional Merge. The nature of existence on this earth has been a struggle between the light and darkness for many years, someone would call. It is a struggle between good and bad, or upliftment and evil. The Pleiadians are saying that Earth is suddenly not the only place in existence that deals with these kind of challenges. There are many planets that this struggle is happening between the light and darkness, and they are also saying that we are unique beings in our biogenetic structure, and we can operate with much greater capability than we ever have dreamed of. And also saying we have been convinced that we are only capable of a small percentage of our potential, actually. We are the grand creatures designed in the age of God, and we have been controlled to an extent that potential has been denied its own existence. We have been hearing from so many studies. Most of the people only use 3 to 4% of their capabilities. Who are more advanced may use 12 to 15% of their capabilities. What do the other 82 to 90% of capabilities do? That 90% is now awakening. The ancient eyes are going to remember and see what the self is capable of being. When the ancient eyes are open, meaning when you are awakened, you will recognize your true potential, and you will stop arguing with yourself, stop arguing for limitations, and move beyond the things that are holding us back. You are rapidly developing your nervous systems, and there are ways to recognize it every once in a while. You are able to catch the pulsation that takes you out of physical reality. You are then able to move into another vibration and see and recognize that something is out of the ordinary, something extraordinary is going on. It is usual that our logical mind cannot explain what is happening to ourselves. We start denying that experience or block the memory of it. It is best if you stay with your intuition, if you rely on what you feel, and even though it may not make logical sense, operate with trust. Pleiadians are also saying that the importance of thought is when we desire an acceleration in this awakening process, state your commitment. Thought creates, they're saying, if you wish for greater growth and ability, then we will be able to achieve it. When you doubt, that doubt is also a thought that manifests and will stop your expansion. The Pleiadians are emphasizing over and over again on our beliefs and importance of thought. We are the results of our thought. As you begin to disassemble your identity, cherish honor, and allow of the identities that you are, and you do not feel any of them are significant. We have to honor each of them. Whether you are picking strawberries on the field or looking for cigarette butts on the street corners, the aspect of self that carries the primordial fire to express itself through you. It can still be the I when it is appropriate to be the I. When the vastness of energy or the universe wants to utilize your physical vehicle as a part of to affect reality, there's no I. Instead, I is incorporated. This is becoming multidimensional beings. We are in a time sequence where human being mutates or changes right in front of our eyes into multidimensional beings. For example, I wish one of my cells could be chilling. One of them could be going to school. One of them could be in a park. One of them could be in India with my grandparents. One could be visiting all pyramids, and one would be doing nothing. It looks like a big concept, but it will be similar as tying our own shoes. This multidimensionality concept helps us understand the grace of human beings, who they are, and they do not end their skin ends. Please remember, Masters, that we do not end ourselves. We are connected to our multidimensional selves much closer than we think. For example, you may be sitting on a chair and find that when you blink your eyes, you feel like you are sitting in a different room. Or when you walk down the street and look at a word, an image, you might drift off and get a clear image of another self. As we learn to harness the vibrational rate, we will get the ability to slowly live in 3 to 4 realities, and then 5 to 6, and so on. The more multidimensional selves each person has, the more channels Prime Creator has to take that data in and experience to compute it without going insane. The Pleiadians define light as sharing of information, and dark is withholding the information. There are portions of ourselves that are in the dark, and they come for us for information, and we share that information by sharing the light and saying, I intend for all of my other selves to come along on this journey and for them to receive light as well. As members of the family of light, you are here to anchor frequency and allow the mutation process to happen inside of your bodies so that you can make it available to the planet. When this happens, your reality will change, and how you deal with reality will change. You will not be the same as before, and become more connected with all the other multidimensional selves who are looking to make the same leap in consciousness as you. The next chapter is called The Ultimate Tyranny. Tyranny means cruel and oppressive government or rule. We have been controlled like sheep in a pen by those who think they own us, from the government to the world management team and to those in space. We must learn to become keepers of frequency. We must rise to a specific place of knowledge and consistently stay there. We must become in command of our bodies so that we can will it into stillness or into activity. We must be able to go into ourselves Heal what needs to be healed, emotionally, physically, and mentally. Many of the beings who incarnated as members of the family of light entered the United States because this is the land where we can make the most progress. This also happens to be a place where denial is all around. Most people believe that we live in a land of freedom and the home of brave people. But we live in the most controlled experimental society on the planet. The United States is still not aware that something is not right. The United States is actually more controlled than the former Soviet Union, where control is obvious. Consciousness must change. This is part of the divine plan. This opportunity and setup are not going to be missed. There has been over-involvement in the material world and a complete lack of understanding of the non-physical world that exists all around you people will stand up. People will awaken to the incredible potential of themselves. In this transfer to the new age, because of a few incidents, many people think that the United States is falling apart. But we are serving a purpose and a new sense of pride. Life in the U.S. is how much money you have and how much money the government wants out of what you have. Taxes will create the greatest amount of chaos and the greatest amount of unification because everyone has taxes in common. With more and more taxes being collected, people will start beginning to understand the quality of their lives. Anger will spread because of how they have been manipulated. Modern technology is the biggest weapon of frequency control devices that we use for entertainment to control your frequency. The Pleiadians recommend getting rid of your television sets. They are used to manipulate you on a day-to-day basis. This act keeps you immobilized and holds you in a survive, arrive, be on time, be silent, and go to work society. Television also promotes inactivity and a sedentary, obese life. There are entities who feed off of our emotional bodies. Our emotions are food for them, so television is a wonderful tool for them. All over the world, millions of people are emitting emotional juices based upon what they've watched. They don't have to work hard to feed themselves, as they can just make movies to get us all riled up. While watching television, we will not be able to tap into wealth of information within our minds. If we really want to evolve, do not read newspapers, do not listen to the radio, and do not watch television frequently. Mainly, they are saying don't listen to the news of chaos and anxiety and stress that creates. Just a second. Okay. Electronics also jam our frequency. Sometimes there is an incompatibility between the electronic frequency of something and ourselves. The second most predominant piece of hardware in the United States is the computer. How many of us are going to work on computers and end up getting headaches, particularly when you work for large corporations and are hooked up to their mainframe? Large companies are into aspects of mind control. They use your mind to generate energy to achieve something for themselves. There is nothing wrong with technology being used. That is the bottom line. This is the difference. The education system is another area where you get controlled. Most of what you are thinking is a malarkey. That means we are getting taught meaningless things, actually. What is happening in our education system? You work hard, take out loans, pay the money to learn something before you set into the door of scientific, mathematical, psychological, and medical fields. This education system was originally established in the 19,000s and is still being continued in 2024. They are saying, come up with a method or a way to explore the world without degrees. Education is actually the pursuit of knowledge, and the knowledge can come from work in the desert. It does not have to come from flipping pages in your book at the same time. And it is not harmful to explore a little bit of schooling, but do not buy into the idea that what you are being taught is correct. We are simply pointing this out. We are not here to promote fear. Fear is what the other team wants you to feel. We want you to understand that you can change anything you want to change. You are the creator of your own reality. The Pleiadians are asking us humans to come into full function and we want you to understand that you can change anything you want to change. You are the creator of your own reality. The Pleiadians are asking us humans to come into full function as members of the family of light by imagining and energizing the pillar of light and pulling it inside our body. For it connects you with light frequency and fills you with protection and information. It moves into the base of your spine down into your body, as well as coming out of your solar plexus area, like a fountain forming a golden shield of light around you. The next chapter is called Profound New Boundaries. Since we are in a frequency-controlled society, the ability of humanity to create technologies has been limited. In a less controlled society, technological advances are quite astounding and uplifting. Some information has been given to the planet in many different ways, and the resulting technologies have brought about great changes in lifestyle. One of the changes in lifestyle that occurred during this century was the introduction of movies. A whole new way of influencing thought was brought to this planet by film industry. Just as there is a movie industry on the planet, there are those who in space who have a holographic industry. They make holograph inserts, dramas that look just like they are real, insert them through portals into your reality. Since these space beings have been around for hundreds of thousands of years, and humanity's frequencies have been controlled, it is quite easy to deceive human beings. Holographic inserts have been used on Earth to manipulate and control consciousness and to change the story of information to a limited amount of knowledge. Holographic experiences, especially viewings in the sky, are set up to influence a large group of people at once. Many, though not at all, UFO sightings have been holographic inserts. Holographic inserts look exactly like 3D reality. They are creations of events manufactured and inserted in your reality to look as if they are part of a sequential action. They are used to influence the minds of observers, and they are very difficult to recognize. Holographic inserts are not done for information. They are done for control. Realities can be constructed and inserted just like movies. Movies, televisions, and so on are your version of creating reality. There are other very evolved beings who cleverly create realities so real that you can't tell the difference. They are like beams, just like spotlights are projected into the light. Holographic inserts are projected onto this planet through portals. Tremendous energy is needed because the process involves the merging of dimensions, and technology does not exist in the third dimension. It exists in other dimensions, and they need dimensional fusions. Humanity has been blind and deceived over and over again because of the unevolved helixes that information could not plug into. The family of light has come to change all of that. You are here to carry a new frequency onto the planet, and hold it in your body so the rest of the planet can begin to vibrate at the same frequency. That frequency is going to create disruption of the structures based on the two-stranded DNA of this planet. It cannot help it. It is time to evolve. Earth is ready to go through whatever is necessary for that evolution. Human beings must learn to read energies. We must learn to use more than the senses of our eyes, ears, nose, mouth, and so on to preserve reality. They are saying that our eyes, ears, nose, mouth, and sense of touch are deceivers of reality, and they limit our perceptions of reality. Because we have been trained since we were a child to rely on our eyes, ears, nose, mouth, and sense of touch to interpret experience. Now they are suggesting us to use forms of sensing to determine experience. One of the forms that we forgot is feeling. Feeling means our knowing, our intuitive, psychic feeling, and it has been jammed by frequency controls on this planet so that none of us have been able to find it. If we found our own knowledge and our own way of intuiting, we could not be controlled. We will recognize holographic inserts by feeling. We won't feel right, or we will feel something is fishy or strange. When holographic inserts are put into our reality, something is not right. As members of the family of light, our coatings and filaments will not feel good if we are exposed to holographic inserts because they are used to control us rather than to bring us to upliftment. As an example of holographic inserts that were put on the planet in the past to change the course of history is the crucifixion of Christ. The drama that was played out and passed on historically to us is not the reality that the Christed One claimed to play. The version of this entity's life was molded and designed in a holographic entertainment movie, which was then inserted and played out as if it were real. The plan of Christed community was to come and spread light or information and show humans what the human body is capable of doing. Then there are the beings who said, "What are we going to do about this? This one is coming to our portal, and we want control over this portal. How are we going to be able to use this energy? It is a free will universe. We can do whatever we want." So they created a holographic insert of the drama of Christ being crucified to create fear and emotion out of someone else's intentions, and to move consciousness in a way that was not originally intended at all. They were saying that some time ago the light is underestimated on this planet, because light is going to liberate us all. We are on an exciting assignment and an inevitable job, and you all have the help you're going to need to complete your task. There's been a tremendous influx of entities and motherships on this planet that are now acting as intermediaries, or perhaps literal transducers of energy. The beams of light that come to this planet from old and ancient star systems, also known as Sirius, Arcturus, Iron, the Pleiades, and so on, that have been working with the Earth for eons. Beams of light are being caught by quite a number of motherships surrounding Earth, filtered through an entirely different system, and then blasted onto the planet. Many of us have implants inside of us to respond to this communication, and there are etheric implants and tools to receive off-planet energies. These implants are being activated now. Many of us are feeling that we are altered. At different times of the day, particularly when we are going to sleep, we might hear a variety of tones or feel an electric vibration in our body. The Pleiadians have encouraged many of us to move out of the logical mind, because the logical mind will come into conflict with this information and electronic energy in the next number of years. Our understanding and vibration with the frequencies coming to us will be like turning on our own radio. We will have a direct telepathic link with motherships broadcasting to us. Chapter 10 is called A New Paradigm of Light. The bringers of the dawn are those who bring light, knowledge, and information. They are an ancient organization, an ancient society, and they have an ancient spiritual bonding. The members of this organization come down to Earth when a cycle has been set, and everything is perfect for them to transfer energy from the higher cosmos and allow energy from Earth to merge with their own beings. Humanity creates the sacred bridge between Earth and the sky, which some have called the Rainbow Bridge. Each link of the bridge of Bringers of the Dawn makes up the whole, no matter what its construction, no matter what strength or weakness it has, no matter how big or small its role. The family of light comes from a central place of operation, a source within this universe that acts as a broadcast. There are central suns within our galaxy, and a central sun within this universe. The Mayans named the central sun Alcyon. We cycle or spiral out from the central sun and carry the information from it throughout the various systems in this universe. We love to bust systems open, and when something says no trespassing, it is for everyone else and not for us. We can go anywhere that is shut down so we can open it up. We operate by separating ourselves into many multidimensional entities and then going into various systems to change them. Once we master creation manipulation, we are able to manage reality, and we can easily manifest into any form we desire. Since this science exists on the planet, it also exists off the planet. Earth is a hot spot right now. It is going to start its own evolution. It is going to be a dimensional shift that is going to alter all space around Earth. Many space beings are curious about life, how to rearrange their molecular structures, and come to Earth in guises as humans. Once major changes have come, dimensions will have potentials to collide and merge with other dimensions. The Pleiadians understand that many of us cannot understand this. One of the primary things they ask us to do is not base our future experiences on our past. All of us love to drag the past in as an excuse for what might happen in the future. The big secret that has been kept from human species is that thought creates experience, thought creates reality. All reality is created by thought. The next chapter is called The Name of the Game. Thought comes first. Experience is always secondary. Always our experience is the direct reflection of what we are thinking. We shouldn't be afraid of what we create. We need to trust our creations. Trust that there's always something in it for us. We have to come down to earth to play in a drama and finish that drama. However, we have to understand that these dramas can be used 20 years later to come into a whole new realization. When we fully believe that we create our own reality and every single part of it, we find that events do not come straight out of the blue. Emotion is connected with these things, and remember, emotion can take you into other realms of activity. Whenever we buy into the victim mentality, we send people the idea that they are powerless, and the same thought goes to our minds too. Our media exposes the only external so-called facts and ignores the rich reverb of emotional significance that accompanies human dramas and human lessons. Any newspaper event or world drama in which looks as if people are hopeless victims are not. They create their own reality just as we have. We must understand that others must go through the realms of density to bring them to light. Sometimes the greatest enlightenment lies in the greatest catastrophes and greatest difficulties. For example, when we go to a restaurant and order something we want, the chef prepares it and the waiter brings it to us. We order it, however we don't make it. Somehow the cook or spiritual energy makes it, yet we select it to be put before us. It will not be put before us unless we go into the restaurant to order it in the first place. So we are responsible for it and we pay for it. Life is the same way. Life is like a restaurant. Learn how to order what we want from life, like we do when we go to a restaurant. We don't worry over every item and wonder whether we deserve it or not. That is how we order up life. Get clear on what we want, order it, and be done with it. We are a result of our thoughts. We need to think of ourselves in a capacity that is exceptional, magnificent, and uplifting, freeing ourselves with the need to have the rest of the society agree with us. Our words either encourage us or not. The Pleiadians want us to have the courage and ability to live our own light. We have to eliminate the words should and trying from our vocabulary. The word should implies that we are working under someone else's authority or control. Whenever we use the word trying, we will not accomplish anything, because trying is an excuse. I tried to do it. I tried it. In our own life, we have to use the words I'm creating, I'm doing, I'm manifesting, I'm intending, I'm bringing about. Forget I am trying. Some people back off because they think that there isn't enough for everyone. The Pleiadians want us to understand that there is no limitations in this world. Human beings are afraid to manifest, as we have the belief that if we don't work hard for something, it has no value. If we only work hard, we can achieve something. One time the Pleiadians talked about a big pile of bricks with a group of people and asked them, how do you move the bricks? They all said, well, you pick them up one by one. And we said, no one ever thought of hiring anyone else to do it. You could call someone and still be doing the job. Money seems to be an issue for everyone. We all have different beliefs of how money comes to us. The more we believe we have to work hard for it, the more harder we're going to have to work. State of mind is the name of the game, because when we learn the rules of the game that we are of a thought, that this is a law within our universe, all we need to do is think of how we want to be, and so we shall be. Once we figure this all out, we can design our body, we can design our age, and we can fix everything about ourselves, because we will be self-motivated, self-empowered, and self-generated. The next chapter is called It's an Awesome Task to Carry Light. This is a time for us to radically change our views about ourselves and to break down boundaries. It is time for us to rise out of the pettiness of the day, dramas, and events, and begin to connect on a cosmic level with the higher drama that is occurring. This story of the family of light, or return of the white t-shirts, as the Pleiadians like to call it, is who we are. We have committed to do a certain task, and we have had changes, many of us. If we look back to see who we were 1 year ago, ideally each of us will see that we are much now empowered. At this time, ideally, each and every one of us has the art of manifestation down, because it is now time for us to pull the cosmic gridwork of information into our body and plug it into our psyche so we can become a broadcaster of this data upon the planet. This is the gridwork that is fired by the light-encoded filaments outside of our body. Feel the fear and uncertainty running through the lives of humans as they begin to realize that the way of their lives has been defined is now crumbling. Realize that the light is the culprit of this crumbling, and we, as members of the family of light, creepers of frequency, are causing this crumbling to take place because we carry electromagnetic charge onto the planet that broadcasts the new frequency. We help create this chaos to arise in a new consciousness. The most significant reason for this slide is that there is new information accessible that makes the old information archaic and decrepit, and we are responsible for this. So we are responsible to a certain extent for evolving yourselves through this, and for being our own forms of inspiration. For beings who are living examples for others, we take a very active role. There are many who say, "Oh no, here comes the light," because light is known to alter every vibrational frequency that it encounters. Light carries information, and information expands systems so that the older systems no longer exist. So as light moves to destroy it, it also births new systems by what it leaves behind. A new order is formed. There is a need for each of us to examine the boundaries we have set around ourselves. These boundaries that we set, that we advertise and announce about ourselves, keep us from moving with information that is awakening inside us. The Pleiadians want us to give up boundaries and stop defining and protecting every aspect of our lives. It is an awesome task to carry light. Once we allow light to come into our body, we begin the process of change, which is not always joyous, uplifting, and fun-filled, as some of us have discovered. In this process, when things are not so fun-filled, the first thing we may do to keep ourselves from evolving and changing is to respond to emotional events with fear. We may blame someone else and whine and complain. We may feel and believe that someone did this to you. For example, one time on PMC, Anand Buddha shared his experience. For when he lost his job, he was very angry and thought that someone was to be blamed. He got so angry and frustrated that he even had thoughts of killing that guy. Then he realized he was thinking totally wrong thoughts. He then decided to get rid of those thoughts with intense meditation. Soon he got a great job opportunity in PMC. The rest of the planet believes this, but they are not members of the family of light. There are millions of members of the family of light here, of course, and light is returning to this planet where the dark t-shirts were in charge for a very long time. The Pleiadians are here to remind us who we are and what we have agreed to do. What we have come here to achieve on this planet. The Pleiadians are here to be our cheerleaders and encourage us to remember, to give us some guidance and assistance that we can discover for ourselves the miracle that awaits inside the human body. As the food source is taken away from the creator gods and the frequency barriers pierced, Earth's grid work will change. Each of us assists in making that frequency alive on this planet by living our life according to light and according to what we know. This is the work of an individual nature. We may work in groups and have certain leaders, but we must as individuals evolve ourselves. As we do so, as we are led by our right to live in a certain way, we will begin to feel excited. We do not have to work with the Pleiadians or anyone continuously to gather information. The only continuity needed for us is to continuously work with ourselves and seek the meaning of what the Pleiadians call exalted self. Feel what the exalted self means. It is triumphant, liberated, joyous in achievement, and the highest in attainment. Though we must do our own work to evolve, there are many off-planetary non-physical beings ready to work with us. All we need to do is call for them for their assistance. When we do, always state clearly that any assistance comes to us from light. Stay in our integrity and be aware. On this planet, it is assumed that if someone is intelligent and they are spiritually aware, this is absolutely a falsehood. Someone can be brilliant and learn to transcend human laws and yet still not operate with the frequency or light of the frequency of love. Whose purpose are you? The next chapter is called Whose Purpose Are You? All aspects of consciousness have gathered in this universe to affect each other because that is the only way consciousness in this particular universe can experience itself. In other universes, each and every type of consciousness may be completely free. We could be on our own and serve purpose to no one else. That is not true in this universe. There are many universes and themes, just like 100 pennies make up a dollar. Certain collections of universe make something that is a collection of energies. Our assignment is to carry information to evolve ourselves to the highest capability within human form. When we do this, you cannot help but affect multitudes. You may feel that your particular occupation is not on a grand scale. Say, for instance, you're a waitress. Remember, things are not what they appear on the outside, and everyone you come in contact with is affected by your vibration. Some of you may be left in manual or mundane jobs for a while, or maybe let simply to be parents of guardians of your children, who may do something that you may do something that does not feel exactly right on the road to high glory. If you go into a meditative state, you receive a picture of your identity. In reality, the next step of your assignment is day-by-day meditation. Meditation is a state of communication. It is not a way to go somewhere else to get lost. Meditation is a way to get informed and go to a place that nourishes you. You are moving into your own purpose, and more than likely it will have to do with facilitating the frequency, transducing it, stepping it down to others, and explaining it, and using it to heal others, and stabilizing it for the human race. We will find all things in your life have prepared you step by step for what we will be doing. At one time's practice, you may be a Boy Scout leader. Learn to work with young boys. Maybe another time you worked in a restaurant and learned how to work with food and serve through your job. You created certain aspects of reality so that when you must teach the systems beyond themselves, you have an idea of where the humans are coming from. You have been hired and are on assignment from the future to catapult into the cycle of existence, to incarnate many times so that you can understand what has kept humans controlled in this way. You can operate from the inside and change the system when you are in battle with your logical mind. You are experiencing a conflict between the portion of yourself that is human, which has bought the story, and the portion of that family of light which has not bought the story, and is learning about the bigger picture. There are those who want you to, in the whole planet, to function, and no other way but through a very fearful logic. The best advice we can offer you at this time is to use that logic and say, I will be in logic here for a moment and see what my logical mind is doing. It is wanting to take over. And it has been told this now, and that it will not change. I have been also told that this other stuff is true. I will simply observe how I waver between one another. Am I angry? Am I insecure? What brings me upliftment? What brings me security? What does each mode of thinking do for me? What am I perceiving? How am I feeling? Observe and acknowledge all of this. And now that I've given everyone to be on stage, what do I want? Reaffirm what you want. Chapter 4. Chapter 14 is called Emotions, the Secret and Chronicles of Time. As human beings, you need emotion to connect you with your spiritual self. Emotion is essential to understanding spirituality because emotion generates the feeling. The mental body and the physical body are very linked and are the emotional and spiritual body. The spiritual body, of course, is the body that exists beyond physical limitation. You need emotions to comprehend the non-physical, which is why you have been so controlled upon this planet. You have been allowed very little room emotionally and have been encouraged to feel powerless or feel frightened. When you are not afraid of feeling, you move past judgment and allow yourself to feel all the ways you feel. You will have a tremendous breakthrough because you will be able to ride feeling into other realities. The Pleiadians are emphasizing that there is a purpose to fear and a purpose to anger, and you would allow yourselves to express and experience your fears, which might lead to the expression of your anger. and you would learn something. Most of the time, all you want is to be accepted. You feel that no one will like you if you do certain things or feel certain ways. So you won't have those certain feelings. That is where the anger comes from. You have anger because you make judgments about what you can and what you cannot do. If you do not give yourself permission to feel, you cannot learn. Feeling connects you with life. Because you have a fear of something, you keep yourself from experiencing it because you put up a sign that says, if I go there, it is bad. You put the brakes on. In actuality, your fear will eventually energize the experience into your realm of development because all thought is drawn into form based on the emotional influence behind it. Your emotions are not just food for others, they are food for the self. You must learn to love your emotions, and as long as you describe something as difficult, you are making it difficult. No one else's. We resist and judge the changes coming about. We feel that if we do not know what is going on, we wish to be in control. Control is something very convenient and very handy. It must be used at the right place and right time, like superglue. Superglue in the wrong place doesn't do much good. Did you ever superglue your hands together? You must learn to exercise control in the way you use superglue. If you screw up with superglue, you get stuck and you can't do anything. Control is the same way. You get stuck with it, it sticks you to something that you don't need to be stuck to. Other realities don't use emotions, but in this reality, emotions are your greatest gifts. They are our gems, our treasures, and if we are not going to be part of our emotional selves, we are never going to make the game the Pleiadians are talking about. We will simply be one of the masses who watches television, feels like a victim over again. When we feel pain in an emotional body, we just need to ask ourselves, why can't we create joy? Everything and all is a choice. We just need to be reminded of it. The next chapter is Earth's initiation through integrity. This beautiful Earth is a treasure so profound and so magnanimous that it draws those from far in space to come and cherish the beauty that is here. We want you to feel that beauty inside yourselves and let it pulsate within your own being. They are saying that it is our responsibility to do the beautification of Earth. Communicate with Earth, listen to it, and let this planet teach you how to live in harmony. This is a slow process, and you are not going to learn it overnight. Hear Earth saying, listen, would you like someone pouring pesticides on your skin? This is what happens when you pour them on Earth. Earth is a sentient being, or collections of beings. Masters, we are also like Earth. That many bacteria and viruses that live on our skin and inside our body is just like Mother Earth. We work with them. Earth understands that. In order to be a good mother to its children, you must let the children learn their own lessons. Your lessons are, of course, the lessons of responsibility. If human beings do not change, if they do not make the shift in values and realize that without Earth they could not be here, then Earth, in its love for its own initiation and its reaching for a higher frequency, will bring about a cleansing that will balance it once again. Everyone know what happened in pandemic, how much cleaning happened to Earth at that time. The time has come not to just talk about it, but to do it. As you commit to change in your own life, you automatically make the change available to the entire planet. Earth is striving for its integrity. That the planet feels dishonored and unloved. Earth loves you and gives you a place to operate. It is a living organism. Earth is about to reestablish its integrity and let you understand the importance of loving yourself by loving Earth. Love yourself and love Earth because they are the same. Pleiadians are saying that all of you must learn to honor your bodies because without your bodies you would not be here. And without Earth you would not be here. Your body and your planet are your two greatest gifts, the most valuable things you own. Earth is more resilient than you would imagine. It is here to feed you and sustain you. The animals are also here to work in cooperation with you. If everything is done with love, it has the force of Creator behind it. Ask yourself, am I operating with my highest integrity? Am I operating with love? Is love my intention for Earth, the animals, all the people I encounter, and all the things I do? There will be great shiftings with humanity on this planet. The people who leave the planet during the time of Earth changes do not fit here any longer. They are stopping the harmony of Earth. When the time comes that perhaps 20 million people leave the planet at once, there will be a tremendous shift in consciousness for those who are remaining. We live in a symbolic world that is a result of our thoughts. The outside world represents to what we are going. The outside world represents to what we are going on internally with this. So if the world is falling apart, what does that represent? You are coded to ritual. When you perform ritual, your body begins to remember who you are and what you know. Part of the evolution of consciousness involves uniting with one consciousness with another, not keeping yourselves separated. The next chapter is called Heretics Ahead of Time. The 60s were a time of preparation. They held your initial awakening, and a time that showed you new paradigms could be born. The 90s are the time to bring the movement of spirituality onto the planet. Over the last number of years, many people have gotten to their bodies, regenerating them, exercising them, and making them more beautiful. That has simply been preparation to show that you could be moved into the spirit. Many of you have been on this journey for a long time, and some of you might have joined recently. Everyone doesn't take the same amount of time. The new joiners don't have to look for the new frequency and discover it. The mapping is already done and it is hitting your body. All of us need one another. You need to develop a tremendous amount of patience and compassion. You're going to have to become very allowing. Sometimes you'll feel as if there's too much energy or too much data to compute. Those times, what you need to do more than anything else is rest. Some of you will need a tremendous amount of sleep more than anything else. Do not think you're lazy and beat up on yourself, simply knowing that there will be times when you wish to sleep 18 hours if it is necessary. Some of us have already ascended off the planet and come back to do it, again to show the way. It involved not living on the planet, in the material society, and basically living close to nature. The next chapter is called Language of the Light. Masters have now spread throughout the gridwork along their own tools for teaching. This hierarchy works with love and has been able to see through time and mechanisms that are in the planet to know that the consciousness is ready for the evolutionary leap. There is 144,000 members of the spiritual hierarchy who are in the gridwork of the planet at this time. Each member has their own seal that represents one portion of the language of light. And we have 144,000 seals of energy that will eventually be infused within your being. The geometric forms that are implanted come in different shapes, like a pyramid. On this planet and throughout the cosmos, the pyramid structure is utilized to represent a great unity of consciousness. It is a structure that gathers energy from Earth and sends it outward. The structures of the sphere and the spiral will also be implanted inside you. The spiral is very dear to many of you because you have temporarily traveled within cultures and societies where spiral was utilized to communicate many ideas. In astrology, it is understood that certain angles have power points, and certain things will happen with certain angles. It is the same with shapes. Energy collects in angles, in shapes, and in forms. We can learn to create these shapes and live around them. And it is sometimes better to sleep in the middle of a room rather than having our bed jammed into a 90-degree angle, because the 90-degree angle creates an energy lock. In the middle of the room, the energy flows around us. This language is being introduced onto the planet as a story, a glyph of information that holds a frequency to assist us in holding our own frequency. Once consciousness has reached a certain place, assistance is brought from the outside realms to re-establish other realms of that frequency. In other words, saying you open a restaurant and it is a big hit. You run and maintain it and sell really, really good food. Then someone comes along and says, "How about franchising? Let's get you everywhere." These geometric shapes help us franchise the frequency by spreading it all over the planet and holding it. They bring us to a new level of attainment. In Tibet, when a master... The next chapter is called Symphonies of Consciousness. In Tibet, when a master who was able to transcend realities passed away, the body was kept and allowed to move into its own natural deterioration. Because the skeletal form was held a sensibility to frequencies, information was stored in bone and stone. When one walks into these places, one can, through sound, access the intelligence factors of the humans who once occupied those skulls. These harmonics can be utilized in incredible ways, for harmonics can evolve many things. One of the things that is important for utilizing these harmonics is to be silent. Once the harmonics are completed.
1 second. So I am going to stop the live, but we can continue the session because there is other session. Okay, just give me a second. And whoever is watching on the live, thank you for watching. We will upload the entire session. Thank you.